Okay, so basically I forgot to hit record. What I'm doing is I am taking 3 chicken breasts and putting them into the food processor with 4 eggs. And I'm going to be making a recipe of macaroni and cheese, carnivore friendly macaroni and cheese that I found on the internet, but I'm adding my own spin to it. So, first of all, I got to get this back in here because I forgot to add the egg. Don't want it on that glove yet. So that's one of the chicken breasts there. Throw 2 eggs into this. It's making a puree, really. It's on chop, not puree. So we're going to get all this in and moving. Left-handed, no doubt. Just gonna take that off. Yeah, I'd go through washing my hands more, but I don't have a lot of room. This is RV living. The ribs I'm going to add to this is going to be my 3-2-1 ribs. Of course, I'm sure you already knew that though. So the white sinew from the chicken, I'm not too worried about pulling it out of here, because when you start cooking, cutting it out of the bag, they will present themselves, and then I just toss them off to the side. One more. Actually, in this one, I'm going to add some seasonings. This is just my rub. I don't know how much I did. You can do however much you want. Brings out a whole different color though, let me tell you. All right. This is going to be some really good stuff, let me tell you. I thought about editing this one, but I figured y'all just, you could watch me do the whole thing. Because sometimes it's a mess. And that's okay. Let's get rid of some of this. All right, now mix that up. Let that open. Woo. All right. It did open a little bit. I was being a little rough. All right. I'm going to put that in the fridge. Just for a minute. Get cleaned up, and then we'll start the next step. Okay, so we've got that in the fridge. Now we're going to make the cheese sauce. So I'm going to start it off with probably that much milk. Nah. Let's go with that much milk. I'll probably add more. Then we're going to cut the cheese. Yeah, I said that, Terry. I'm going to cut the cheese. So I like the block cheese. Actually, I like mixing the block and the shredded, so there's that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to let this melt down nice and slow. So hopefully you already have your 3-2-1 ribs done with your favorite barbecue sauce. Those are all done. I did those yesterday. Got water boiling so we can make the noodles. Cheese sauce coming up. Alright, so really that's all I'm going to add in there. Going to get that melted down. And in the interest of time, I'm going to pause the video until I've got that melted a little bit. Alright, we're doing pretty good here. Just want to let you know, you need to melt this nice and slow. You do not want this to burn or start separating or anything like that. Now, along with that, I really like shredded cheese in there too, so I'm going to do a big old heaping handful of that too. I may need some more milk. That is starting to get good and creamy though. Boy, you can see that pull too, huh? A little milk. That's a good mixture. I like that. Pop that off into the bag. We'll come back to that cheese sauce on a little bit of heat here in a little bit. Now it's time for the magic. So basically what I'm going to do is when I'm done cooking them, I'm going to put them into this pan right here, but you won't see that. That'll be off screen. But I'm going to throw them into that pan because they got to go into the oven when I'm done. So this is how we're going to do this. Oh, I broke a hole in that thing. Dang. Maybe there's a hole in it already. That's why it took me a while to clean it up. I got a hole in my bag. Right there. Well, I think that's actually the perfect size for what we're going to do. But this bag is too big for that. I gotta change bags. Hang on a second. Okay, that bag actually had 2 holes in it and not in a convenient spot. So here we go. Let's do this. Thought that was one of those sinewy parts. They should start floating when they're done. When I get a bunch floating is when I'll stop putting them in. And let those cook. Alright, so I'm just going to keep repeating this process until all of my noodles are done, and then we'll get back to you. Alright, there's the noodles going in the oven, 350 for about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to bring over the cheese sauce, get that going again. I definitely wanted a little bit more milk in there. It still seemed a little thick for my taste. So we're going to give those 10 minutes. And we're going to stir up the cheese, get it to the perfect thickness. Alright, I think that cheese is good and ready. Now all we gotta do is wait for the noodles to be done in the oven, and we'll mix them together and get on to the next step. Okay, it's been almost 10 minutes. Let's take a look at these things, see what they look like. They look good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. That's good stuff right there. Alright. Oh, you can turn off. Alright. That one's a little thin. Ha! Did you catch that? Caught my forearm. So yeah, I'm adding this entire thing in here. There's the 10 minutes that are up. Fold this in. That is mac and cheese right there, buddy. Alright, let's check for the cheese pull. You ready? Nope. No cheese pull. Oh, you know why? Because we need more cheese. There's always room for more cheese, buddy. Let's get a good cheese pull on there. Yeah. Woo! Try not to stir too hard because you'll break these up and then you'll end up with a mess. There we go. Now we got a pull. Look at that. Alright. Okay, I got the oven off, but I'm going to set this back in there because up next we're going to get this ready for the finish. Finishing touches. Let me get some stuff cleaned up real quick. Okay. So, I've got my 3-2-1 ribs. I was cooking these for me and somebody else, so I didn't do barbecue sauce on them, but everything else is the same. I do, however, have some barbecue sauce. So, this is just rib meat. This is just where the ribs were. I didn't put the top of it in there. So, I'm going to debone it real quick. And cut it up a little bit, not a lot. Mix it up with some barbecue sauce, and that is going to be dinner. It's a little bit of prep work, but I don't mind because I cook on the weekends and eat all week. I live by myself, what can I say? I'm lazy like that. You already know these bones just come right out. I mean, come on. 3-2-1 ribs. Stuff just falls apart in your hands. Oh, clean bones flying around, popping out. Watch out. Alright. cut it up just a little bit. Not that you really need a sharp knife, but this knife I've got is pretty nice, let me tell you. Alright. A little bit of garlic, yeah. Garlic sauce. Roasted garlic barbecue sauce. Elevation is a thing. Alright. Garlic. Roasted garlic. I don't know why I took my gloves off. They probably would have helped me out here. Yeah. I don't care what it looks like. That right there is going to be delicious, let me tell you. Let's see what we got. A couple of these, a little bit of this. My God. It's not super hot, so there's not a good cheese pull. But I can promise you, when you make this, you will love it. I can't get enough of it.